Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Million Dollar Speaker Podcast. Hi, I'm Arvee Robinson. I'm the Master Speaker Trainer, international speaker, and author of Speak Up, Get Clients, and your host for the show today. This is a show all about how to be a $1 million speaker, what makes $1 million speakers, and how you can make millions speaking. And I have a very special guest with me today. It is Christine Monaghan. And Christine is your human potential champion. She's proven stress is optional when you understand simple, powerful reset practices. Sourcing the next best version of self, business, teams is the outcome. Christine's work with individuals and organizations is to focus on 100% solution-based approach to close the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Clients experience clarity and direction forward, focus productivity, profit, and consistent goal achieving. A stress is optional daily experience. So welcome, Christine.
Welcome and thank you, Arvee, for having me here today.
I'm so excited because not only are we going to talk about $1 million speaker today, but again, I'm in a program with you that called Reset, and I want you to share a little bit about that. So Christine, first question. And I know you've been speaking for years and years. You speak to corporations, you speak to networking meetings, you've been speaking at your own mastermind meetings. So what do you think makes a $1 million speaker?
Oh, that's a fabulous question. So here's what I know for myself is as long as I speak my truth, and not the version of the truth that I think someone else wants to hear, I naturally will share what kind of comes from my heart and what I truly am trying to put out in the world. I think people get stumbled when they're trying to say a certain thing a certain way or say what they think other people want to hear. So I'm all about stay in my lane, say what I know is my truth in the highest good of all, and have fun with the conversation, no matter whether it's in the format of Zoom or a room full of people or a program, whatever that format and environment looks like.
Got it. Beautiful. Well said. So tell us a little bit about you being the human potential champion. What is that?
Right. Well, I didn't set out to do that. I actually, when I was a little kid, thought I was going to be a nurse, which anybody who knows me would be like howling because I'd be the last person you would really want around if you needed emergency help. So I was entrepreneurial from the time I was 12. I took a whole summer and took care of a 7-month-old baby, and I took that money and I bought my first down quilt. So I think there was an innate desire to be an entrepreneur all along. And I grew into becoming and creating what I now have in my consulting coaching business. And so my experience started with sales in corporate hotels. And then I had an opportunity to go and bid on the Formula One car races in Arizona to bring back the ability to do all the private catering and pit suites here in Vancouver. And so I went there, I was about 24, got the contract, brought it back. It was a $500,000 contract, and then I had to execute it. And that was before computers and all that stuff were like the mainstream. So from there, I worked on and produced world-class sporting and cultural events up to 80,000 people attendees. So I really learned how to kind of reverse engineer a goal and pull it all the way back to, and this is what I have to do today or this month or this week, out of pure necessity. So that, I think, laid the groundwork. I then moved into my own seminar series, which I ran across Canada in Indigo Chapters bookstores, 350 seminar speakers. I had Indigo Chapters, Discovery Health Channel, Chatelaine Magazine. I was running it, funding it, the whole shebang. And I just got $1 million investor and a business partner, and I was moving it into the US with a national health magazine, and I had a near-death experience. And yeah, and I had this near-death experience literally on the day that I confirmed my $1 million investor. So long story short, and I wrote a whole book about this, I chose to walk away because I felt like there was something bigger, a bigger message that I was supposed to be paying attention to. So I closed the business, I walked away from all of it, and here I am 15 years later, and I've created the coaching and consulting business, and the focus is always on resetting. It's the ability for any one of us in any given moment to reset our circumstances, our thoughts, our actions, and focus on what we do want versus what we don't want. And so that's the very simple goals version of how I ended up where I am today.
Right. So tell us a little bit, because again, I'm in your reset program. So tell us a little bit, because I find this fascinating, about how did it go? Slow down to speed
Slow
up?
down, move ahead.
Yes, slow down to move ahead. Tell us, because that's so counterintuitive to what we have learned as speakers, as entrepreneurs,
Correct.
that we have to keep going, that we have to work long hours, that we have to, you do the impossible. So you're saying slow down to move forward. So tell us about that.
So along the way, through all my experiences, all my work, everything, it became very apparent that society has conditioned us that we have to work harder, that we have to work faster, that putting in more hours is a badge of honor, and that the only way to get ahead is to work harder and longer hours. And so I like to say that society has conditioned us that stress is normal. And that could not be further from the truth. The reality is each one of us on any given day can choose to create a stress is optional lifestyle. And so because we're conditioned to that, whether it's the media, the advertising, politics, whatever it is, it's up to us to individually pause and literally reset and go, okay, am I creating a stress is optional or a stress is normal lifestyle or business? And so our job is to simply make the commitment that we are going to reset in any moment that we're feeling overwhelmed, unfulfilled, procrastinating, anxious, feeling like we need to make one more call, one more thing. It's this whole badge of honor. It's like, oh my God. Well, it's the toxicity of that and the debilitation in corporations because of that is huge.
Right.
I mean, it is literally reducing the ability for the individual and collective team to be purposefully productive and to profit. So my mission really is to provoke as many people to question how they are leading and why they are leading, and make the mindset shift that they are going to create a stress is optional environment, whether that is at their desk in their home, whether that is with a team of 20, whether that's with their kids, their family, their spouse, whomever it is. It is completely doable, and it is one mindset shift and one commitment.
Right. And I love the quote, and I have it here that I wrote down that goes right along with that. Commit to less and commit to less and do it really well. I love that. Commit to less. We try to just pile so much stuff, and sometimes we're not doing any of it very well. So talk a little bit about that. Commit to less.
So it starts with coming up with what your goal or goals are. So I have a goal, 2 goals for the year, big goals. They're mutually exciting and nerve-wracking. I reverse engineer them all the way back to, and this is what I'm going to do for the quarter. Then I reverse engineer them back and go, and this is what I'm going to do for the month. And then I get to work and I focus my directed energy and my directed action on this week and only this week. And if I repeat that process, I cannot help but move forward. When I talk about doing less versus more, that starts with getting clear about what you're doing. It's kind of like a GPS. And over I see my entrepreneur and corporate clients, they're like, oh, this opportunity took place and that opportunity. And so we're going to do that. We're going to throw, it's like throwing your energy all over the place. And the analogy, the best analogy is people belong to like 5, 6, 7, 8 networking groups and speaking groups. And they're all over the flipping map. And half the time they can't show up because they don't have the time. And then when they do show up, their energy's all frenetic. And then they don't actually flush out and create and establish the relationships with those people in that group.
Right.
And they wonder why they're tired out. They wonder why they're not moving ahead with greater ease. They wonder why they're maxed out. So my suggestion is pick 3 prospecting / marketing methods, including a group or 2 groups, and actually establish those relationships, create those collaborations. And if you do that, you can't help but help those people. And when you start helping those people, you will automatically create a referral-based system in your own business. And so the challenge is we're programmed to think that we need to do more, we need to attend more, we need to create more people. I've got people in the Reset Collective, the online group that you're a part of, and they have reached out to every single member. And they've got established relationships with like 3 or 4, and they are all working that, both sides, to authentically introduce them to people that they know are in alignment with what that person is, because they actually understand what that person is trying to achieve. And they've got a referral-based business and is smoking. And then there's other people who kind of like, oh, I haven't reached out to anybody. I was busy doing this. I got to do that. And so they've lost the energy and the gift in those people. So you don't need a lot of people. You need the right people that align with you intellectually, value-wise, spiritually, emotionally.
I totally agree. And you have to make sure that you have the time and you schedule that kind of time into your calendar, into your schedule to reach out to those people, because you have that prospecting time. And if you're sitting on a gold mine of wonderful people, you just have to set that time aside. So tell us just a little bit, our time is almost up, but tell us a little bit about the Reset Collective. And then I want to hear a little bit about your book, and then how do people get a hold of you?
Sure. So the Reset Collective was created because I had a live networking group. I'd get like 100 people out every month. But what I kept on seeing, and when I attended other live networking groups, it was diluted. People were eating and drinking and hi, I'll call you and all that. They'd all leave with their stack of business cards, but nobody would do anything with it. And I was like, I don't want to be a part of that. When I'm working, I want to work. And when I'm not working, I want to be having fun. So it wasn't congruent for me. So I decided to create an online virtual group that would focus on business growth, mindset growth, and really inform and teach people the art of collaboration and prospecting. And so the first year I had 4 people in it, and now here we are in year 5. I consider it like a boutique hotel. We have about 32 people. We've got them from Canada and the US. And it works because everybody's working it. And I pull in all my training, which I've done over the years, and the coaching and the leadership. And so they get huge value, and they're all working it and they're all helping each other. So it really is amazing.
And one thing that you said, I just want to point out, is that you created a virtual online networking group before anybody did.
Yeah.
And so then when we all went into the virtual world, you were already there. You're already ready. I love that.
Yeah, well, that was very fortunate, and I'm very thankful that I had created it like 4 or 5 years ago. So
yeah, that's amazing. All right, so tell us a little bit about your book.
Okay.
And how we get a copy.
Yeah, so I've actually got about 5 books. I had my initial book that I wrote for my near-death experience called Heartbroke. I have 3 handbooks that are really good for leaders because there's so many skills in them. This is one of them, Slow Down to Move Ahead. Why Reset? This is the other one, Why Reset? And this is the other one, Why Can't I Just Focus? And then I did a collaborative book last year with a bunch of authors. And I actually have another collaborative book that is coming out, that is literally coming out in the next month. So the best way to find those books are ChristineMonaghan.com/books. And they're all digital books and they're flip books. So they're great for going back to, and for anyone who's a leader or coaching or anything in a leadership position, there's tips and tools that you can implement, and then you can influence your team, your family, whomever, to utilize as well. So that's the best place. So it's Christine Monaghan, MONAGHAN.com/books.
Beautiful. Thank you. And is that the best way they get a hold of you if someone wants to either join the Reset Collective or they want to hire you for coaching? Is that the best place to reach you, or is there another?
ChristineMonaghan.com. There on every single page, there's a opt-in to schedule a call with me or connect with me. And then LinkedIn is my other place where people connect with me. So I kind of stick to those 2 and keep it simple.
Perfect. That's good. Well, because that's what your life's all about, right? Slow down, move ahead. Perfect. All right. So thank you so much, Christine. Is there any last parting words that you would like to leave for our listeners today?
I just think given what has transpired in the world in 2020 and which continues to unfold in 2021, we have the ability and we have 100% control over the conversations we have, the commitments we make, and the choices we make every single day, all day long. And so my suggestion is become super mindful of what you are focusing on with your commitments, in your choices, and engaging in your conversations. Are you focusing on what you do want? Or are you focusing on what you don't want or what you don't want to see more of in the world? And that simple shift will change everything. Like you will witness instantly different results.
Nice. Thank you so much, Christine. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the show and just getting to know you even more. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right. So that's our show for today. Tune in next week and we'll have another good one for you. Bye for now.